Saludos forasteros, refugiados, miembros de la Hermandad del Acero, supervivientes del Enclave, soldados de la NCR, legionarios del César, saqueadores, necrófagos parlanchines y demás habitantes del yermo. Bienvenidos al Refugio 13, tu canal gaming. Y antes de adentrarse en el poblado, perdieron unos días rodeando las tierras circundantes a ese pequeño asentamiento caído en desgracia llamado Gecko, cumpliendo así un encargo del sargento Stark. Y luego, finalmente, el 21 de septiembre, se adentraron en la ciudad. Esperaba ver monstruos sedientos de sangre como la había sugerido Lynette, pero en vez de eso vio a unos pobres desgraciados castigados por la radiación y por sus vivencias en los yermos. Gentes que no hacían otra cosa que tratar de sobrevivir al día a día en aquellos duros tiempos. Esas gentes la penaron tanto que cuando les saqueó todo lo que llevaban lo hizo con remordimiento. Y pensó de todos modos en compensárselo de alguna manera.
What do you do here? Tell me a story or something, dude. A head? A cut head. Okay, when do it become interesting? Okay, so a cut head on the hell, and go around doing what? You seems a little obsessed with this. Did your mom smoke when was pregnant? Are you still having bed pee situations? Oh yeah, sure, I get it now. Is so funny, yeah. Lot of funny. I'm dying by laugh.
También aprendió algo que jamás hubiera esperado: aprender a jugar a un juego de cartas de hacía más de 200 años. Bueno, nunca es tarde, ¿no? Y además aquel lugar le valió para seguir conectando con sus ancestros. En primer lugar, conoció a Harold. Sí, Harold, ¿os acordáis de él? Aquel triste hombre que conocí en mis aventuras pasadas, el mismo que fue testigo de primera mano del accidente que convirtió a Richard Grey en el maestro.
Why do you call me smooth skin?
You cut with the dull edge of the knife, don't you? You don't look like an orange peel left in the sun all day. Your skin's still soft.
Can I ask you something else?
What you need, youngster?
That is a tree growing up from your head?
Jealous? His name's Herbert. I talk to him when I get lonely. Just kidding.
Okay.
His name's Bob.
Maybe Bob know the answer for next one.
What you need?
You should know if there is a Jack over here.
Garden of Eden creation kit? A Geck, right? I seem to remember vaults had those. Don't know where you'd find one today.
Can I ask you something else? Any place over here to trade and get supplies?
Well,
and you know.
You might try
stuff?
talking to Woo's over in the Harp. You can't miss it. It's just across the way.
Well, let me ask you something else. Like, what do you do over here actually? Are you single, by the way?
Whatever it takes to keep this place together. Better job on it
This
than me.
place is falling apart.
Well, sorta. Our atomic reactors are mighty sensitive. The people I got running it mean well, but well, they're
What
not
do
the
you mean?
sharpest tools in the shed, if you know what I mean. Need a little time on the whetstone yourself, huh? I mean, they are not too bright. Here's an example. The other day, I get a report. On it, it says the main coolant valve should be shut down. That would have caused a meltdown. That would make the Grand Canyon look like a
That
pig
doesn't
wallow.
sound good at all.
Oh yeah, that would be bad. Now, I got things fixed up in time, but we came close to the end there. Phew.
So good you were over here to help them.
Who'd have thought I'd be making things right? Although, if we don't get a hydroelectric magnetosphere regulator pretty damn quick, there is gonna be trouble.
What?
Well, technically, it's
Okay,
a thing.
But what it does, you smarty bug.
Without a functional hydroelectric magnetosphere regulator, we are leaking radioactive coolant into the groundwater. Now that means anyone using that water is not going to need a nightlight to take a midnight piss. Also, we need more fuel because our power plant is not burning it very efficiently.
Sounds bad. Where do I find one hydro whatever thing?
Well, I'm certain those ornery bastards in Vault City have one. Not that they'd share. Hell, even if we had one of those thingies, I'm not so certain Festus could install the dang thing. Well, they'd only help us if they thought it was in their own best interest to do so. Not much chance of that happening. They shoot ghouls on sight. Makes conversation a bit tricky.
I wonder if I could ask M.
We need a hydroelectric magnetosphere regulator, and it needs to be installed soon. We have got some real problems. If we don't get it, you can bet those boneheads from Vault City will shut down our power plant permanently. Take dirt naps. Vault City doesn't play nice. They'll just come up here and kill all of us if we don't get that part. Well, at least I'll have a tree for a monument.
What do you do here? You heard about the Jack Lenny? My ancestor, the Vault Dweller, says Vault 13 owes us one, so... I'm following my ancestors' path, so will you join me? Barbecue at Sundays and orgies at Fridays. Great. I'm sure we can make good use of your hands. I mean, you are a doctor and so... Have you got a battery for a car? Okay, what will cost to me? Should I undress or something?
Okay.
En definitiva, solo necesitaba volver a Vault City y convencerles para que les cedieran aquella pieza para la central nuclear. Así, mataría 2 pájaros de un tiro. Y ya de paso, informar al sargento Stark sobre sus progresos y preguntar por otro trabajo disponible. Y una vez en el edificio oficial tuvo una gran idea. ¿Y si en vez de pedir ayuda a esa estirada de Lynette, Se lo pedía a aquel otro señor que parecía mucho más
I think
simpático.
you may have a piece to repair Gecko Power Plant. Within Hydromagna thing, the power plant could work clean. I wonder if Lynette will prevent me to get the citizenship. I have a piece to repair the power plant. Oh, you already know what is it? Then I guess you should know how to install it, right? Oh nice. Then you can install it for me. Sure, here you go. I knew I can count with you.
Y así, prácticamente sin ensuciarse las manos, había arreglado la central nuclear y salvado de un futuro funesto a los ciudadanos de Gecko y a los de Vault City. Bueno, la historia con esta segunda comunidad fue haciéndose un poquito más turbulenta con el tiempo, y es que nuestra chica y Lynette no se caían nada bien, y eso no era ningún secreto.
Yes? What is it?
Yeah, about Gecko Power Plant.
Have you resolved the situation?
Sure, I solved it. No more radiation fugues, I
So,
swear.
you disabled their
Nope,
plan.
I fixed IT. I told it to Troy McClure Council and he gave me the piece. You bitch.
What? He did? I suppose he granted you citizenship also. Fixing Gecko's plant won't solve anything. Those creatures, they cannot be trusted. What happens when their plant starts leaking again?
Oh, I don't know, let me think. Air fix it. Maybe?
You had better watch your step in this city, citizen. I'll be watching you. One misstep and you'll
So
be
what?
exiled.
I'll go back to McClure and I'll give him a blowy or something, and I will get the papers
Do not
again.
toy with me.
Yeah, whatever.
Or I will make
Bye
certain
and
you
good
never
day.
walk Vault City
First
streets
citizen.
again.
Y por fin, con los papeles de la ciudadanía en la mano y a expensas de lo que le gustara o no a Lynette, pudo bajar a los archivos para buscar la localización del Sagrado Refugio 13. Y para terminar de cerrar los asuntos, viajó una vez más hasta Gecko para conseguir esa pieza que podría hacer funcionar aquel maravilloso coche que había encontrado semanas antes en la guarida. Y también para recoger un holodisco con el que podría optimizar el funcionamiento de la planta de energía de Gecko. Y aunque lamentablemente no había encontrado la localización de su refugio 13, sí que había encontrado la localización de otros dos refugios. Quizá alguno de ellos tuviera el tan ansiado Gek. Sus próximos pasos pues la llevarían hacia la RNC, aunque una cosa tenía clara: no pensaba continuar su búsqueda sin antes ir a por ese cochazo. Y esto ha sido todo por hoy, forastero. Y recuerda, si te ha gustado el vídeo, dale al
pulgarcito,
suscríbete y actívala.
Campanilla.